Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm so tired. Hello guys. So many of you guys came from my other video. Let's go. My Instagram is in my description. I post a lot more on there. I post about my life. I post about where I made hijrah. So I was debating on making 2 videos today. I wanted to make one on marriage. However, I chose not to because I feel like that video needs to be more carefully planned out because marriage is such a huge and sensitive topic. Hijab is as well, but hijab is something I had wanted to talk about for a very long time, and I finally think it's time. The influence certain people have on other individuals is insane, and when that influence is haram, yeah, we have to point some things out. Now here's the thing, I believe in giving dawah in a manner that's beneficial. That means if somebody wants or prefers harsh dawah, you give it in a manner. If another person cannot process or absorb information when it's given harshly, then you have to give it in a softer way. You know, I believe in catering towards everybody's needs because that's how your dawah will be most beneficial. However, some truths are very hard to swallow, but they must be said, and the hijab is one of them. Now, I'm not directing this at anybody, it's just a general video to remind us that hijab is an obligation. It's literally such an obligation that there shouldn't even be disputes about it. The reason why I'm being so direct about this is because recently I've come across several sisters on TikTok saying, where is the hijab in the Quran? It's just, and they're referring to the basic minimum. Like they argue that the hijab in the Quran just refers to the basic covering of the chest and the body, not the hair of the face. And this is my problem with Quran, is because Allah tells us in the Quran to follow him and the messenger. There's that, and also Allah has told us in the Quran that on the matters that we do not know of or we are confused on, to go to the people of knowledge. And so these are our scholars who have extensive knowledge on our deen, on our Islam, and they have studied. Now, these scholars who have studied the verses of the hijab have come to a consensus that this means the complete covering of a woman's body. Now, there are disputes, whether it's the hands, face, eyes, one eyes, you know. There are disputes among this, but these disputes come from the sunnah. However, the basic bare minimum that we can all agree on is that the jilbab or the khimar and abaya are the bare minimum of the hijab. Now, a sister struggling to adhere to it is one thing, but then a sister saying that it's not needed, it's not an obligation, that's another thing, and that's what I have an issue with. I believe hijab is a journey, and I'm saying that as somebody who's wearing the niqab because I'm still on my journey. You know, on a journey you're going to stumble, there's going to be some rocky roads, you know what I'm saying? But that's the beauty of it, because you get rewarded. The struggle is the jihad. But I don't believe that when you're struggling, you can excuse your haram by saying it's not an obligation, especially as people who don't have enough knowledge. There's a fruit fly. Got it. In this video, I also wanted to mention the justification of taking off the hijab because you're struggling. So we know that it's a very big sin to publicize the sins that Allah has concealed for you. It's a blessing that Allah has concealed your sins. To then publicize those sins, I really have a big problem with that, because as somebody who's an influencer, I would say I influence people, so I would say I'm an influencer. As somebody who influences sisters and maybe brothers online, I have to be very careful with the things I say and the things I post. So imagine a sister with 1.1 million, more or less. You are influencing such a great amount of people that you will have to answer for it. So if you're taking off the hijab, sisters are inevitably going to be influenced. If you're wearing makeup online, your sisters are inevitably going to be influenced. Now, this isn't me attacking anybody, but this is the general truth that it's hard to swallow, and I'm here to remind everybody that every haram a sister does because of you, that's your haram as well. Don't forget that. In Islam, there's such an emphasis on good character that if you're not conducting that in your day-to-day life, in your day-to-day work, whatever you're doing, you are held accountable. The same goes for using music in the videos. Now, I'm not saying people don't struggle. I really want to make that clear. I'm not condemning sisters. Even me, I struggle with certain things. So this is a reminder for myself as well. But also, I have to be reminded with a harsh truth, which is that I influence people. So if I'm doing any of those things, if I'm posting with music, if I'm doing anything haram, I need to know, and I need to be very sure that I know that that haram will also fall on me. So I've always said to worship with love because love causes hope, right? Rather than with fear. However, as you begin to progress into your religion and into your relationship with Allah, you're going to find that you're going to need to also worship with fear and love. So this is also another reminder. Part of being a Muslim is fear and love. Okay, you need to fear your Creator, but you need to also love Him at the same time. By fearing means that you fear His judgment and you fear His punishment. That's very important, because this fear is what's going to cause you to stay away from what's haram. Sisters, be so careful the way you conduct yourselves online and outside or in a group setting, because you are influencing sisters. So that's kind of my general reminder of a video. You know, I don't really have anything else to say. It's more so just to let you guys know that Hijab is not something that you can play about with. I hope you guys understand what I'm getting at, and I hope none of you guys get upset at me for talking about this, but I feel like there's some things that just really need to be said, because I feel that they are sugar-coated by a lot of people. And I'm such a girl's girl, for real, okay? So I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't love you guys, because I do love you guys, for real. Yeah, we need to kind of stop the normalization of justifying things that are haram, because it's just not cool, guys, for real. Needless to say, if you are struggling with the hijab, whatever it may be, if you're wearing makeup with your hijab right now, if you have 2 strands of hair out, whatever it may be, again, the fact that you're trying, may Allah continue to allow you to progress on your hijab journey. May Allah make it easy for you. I'm proud of you. I really want to put an emphasis on that, because any form of progress is enough. Any steps that you take is progress, even if the little teeny tiny ones, that's progress. What matters is that you don't look back and you don't start again. Like, you are on your hijab journey, okay? You stumble a bit, you know, you put makeup on again. Okay, but you get back up and you continue to go. You know, like, you'll stumble sometimes on your journey, but you won't turn back, because your journey means that you have a destination. You feel me? Wow, did I sound Jamaican now, guys? Be honest. Again, I don't want to attack anybody. Usually I like to be so like cutesy and like I love y'all, and I do love you guys, but sometimes something needs to be said. And this is something that needs to be said right here. You know, like, hijab is something that you need to hold very dear and close to yourself. And sometimes, you know, you need to like, you need to humble yourself sometimes. When you humble yourself and you know, you hold yourself accountable for what's haram, it allows you to progress as a Muslim. If only you guys understood. That's the end of my video, guys. Bismillah. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum.